What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with arguably the most influential guy in modern bodybuilding. The 6 times classic physique Olympia champion Chris Bumstead. So what the future looks like for this retired IFB pro now? Well, this is how it looks like. And people hoping that maybe he's gonna come back and pursue men's open bodybuilding in the future. Now with all the business out of things that he has been growing and also taking care of his family, there are very little chances that Cbum will ever wanna make a comeback and put his health at risk, in jeopardy, because we all know bodybuilding at a pro level, that takes a big toll on your health. And the man has already cemented his legacy as the greatest classic physique competitor of all time. And the man retired with his health intact and as one of the most impactful men in the entire history of bodybuilding. So the last time we saw something like this, that was also with one of the greatest of all time, Lee Haney, who retired at the age of 31. So Chris Bumstead is living his life at the moment, and it is gonna be very interesting what the future of classic physique is gonna look like without the champ Chris Bumstead, because he has been a superstar of this division even before he started winning. Now, based on his men's open debut in Prague in the post-Olympia tour, the judges said he needs an additional 10 pounds of solid muscle to beat a guy like Martin Fitzwater. And I have got to say that is a lot of muscle. He would definitely have been in the top 8 or maybe even in the top 7. Because him versus Rafael Brandao, that is a very close one. Since Rafael Brandao isn't as crispy as Cbum and he was still able to place top 8, now Cbum still intends to stay close to 250 pounds moving forward and be absolutely jacked as well, while at the same time be more active and athletic. Guys, Mr. Olympia Signature Series is now live on hostel.com. Use the code FAZI10 to get 10% discount and click the arrow below to check out all the hostel products. So the original beast, Roelly was spotted training Nathan Diasha, his old stage rival and friend, and Ali Bilal, the top men's physique competitor. So these guys trained arms together. And I'm sure as you guys already know that Roelly definitely had some of the craziest arms ever in the entire bodybuilding history. So as a fan, it is kind of bizarre to see the beast himself kind of squeezed between Nathan and Ali Bilal in this picture. But that being said, Roelly had his time, and as heavy as some of these guys like to train in the current roster of IFB pros, if you guys ask Roelly what he would like to change or what he would have changed when he was in his prime, he would say taking extra care of his joints and not train as hard and as heavy as he used to in his prime, and maybe scale back on the weight in the gym. So the shoulder injury, that is what made him step away from bodybuilding. He is currently 47 years old, and based on some of the updates that Roelly posted in these past few months, with his triceps looking so insane next to Hunter Labrada, who by the way was prepping for the Olympia at that time, some of us hoped that Roelly might jump into this year's Masters Olympia. But the man had a straight no answer to that question in the latest episode of the Menace podcast. And this is the reality for many bodybuilders out there, that once these guys step away from competitive side of bodybuilding, once they step away from their lifestyle, it is extremely hard to go back in. So the Arnold 2018 as well as the Olympia that same year, they were Roelly's best ever. He got top 3 at that show. That remains to be his best physique of all time. Also, I'm gonna mention 2010 New York Pro. That was a very underrated version of Roelly that nobody mentions. He was kind of a small version of himself at that time, but damn, he was ripped and shredded in that show. No wonder he took out the favorite, Dennis Wolf, at that show and got his first pro win. Guys, Gorilla Wear is offering a massive discount of up to 70% right now. Use the code FAZI10 to get 10% extra discount. Another physique update posted by Terrence on his road to this year's Pittsburgh Pro, and that is gonna be his comeback show. So does Terrence has the best adductors in the game in classic physique? Well, the size on those quads is just unreal, and with the rest that Terrence had last year, his receptors are gonna be all fresh and ready to fire once again. And no wonder why the man has changed a lot in these past few weeks. So the second highest placing guy from the Olympia last year, he is competing at this year's Pittsburgh Pro, and that is Jose Manuel aka Josema Beast, who is a tall guy, but Terrence is pretty damn complete from every angle. And with the new size that is bringing to the stage this time, we all expect him to deliver a very solid performance in this year's Pittsburgh Pro. And I am hoping this is gonna be a slam dunk by Terrence. Now he always had this vision that he's gonna be the fourth guy to win that classic physique title. And what better year than 2025 to achieve that goal, since there is gonna be no returning champion this time. So Terrence will be 100% focused on working on those arms as a top priority because he is pretty much complete from every other angle. And one of the biggest reasons he decided not to compete last year entirely was because of the fact that he was having an elbow issue that severely hindered the way he wanted to train his arms. So Tonio Burton has been changing a lot on a weekly basis. Every single physique update that he puts out, he looks better than the previous one. And it seems like he has put on some thickness in the chest area, since the front lat spread is looking a lot more thicker now. Now we have to keep in mind that front lat spread, that is already a very deadly shot for Tonio Burton, as he was not only beating Nick Walker, but also Martin Fitzwater at the New York Pro in that shot, the quad sweep, along with that tiny waistline that puts him in that elite category of guys with top tier aesthetics. Now he did put in a lot of effort and time in the off-season this time to put on some muscle and gain some mass. Now I wish he did not have that accident that put him to bed for a few weeks, and during that recovery period, he lost quite a lot of muscle because that was the one and only hurdle that Tonio faced in 2024. Now for Tonio, it's just a matter of adding a few more pounds of solid muscle on that frame, especially from the front, and it's gonna be even more competitive because his upper back, that is already one of the best and one of the most complete backs in the men's open class, as he gets insanely ripped as well. Now we have seen that he has been winning shows every single year for the last 3 years and getting to the Olympia stage. So there is no reason to doubt that a bigger and an improved version of Tonio, he won't win this year's Legion Sports and punch his ticket to the Olympia. Michael Krizo checking in at 297 pounds, hitting another abs and thigh shot. But that isn't the most impressive stuff here. Just look at the size of his arms there. And there is no exaggeration in saying that his arms are literally bigger than his head. So Krizo, who is currently 14 weeks out of his comeback show, which is gonna be the New York Pro, he is all ready for this challenge. Since Michael Krizo arrived in the Pro League, conditioning has never been an issue for him. Because if we just take out his one last show, which was Spain Pro, when he was dealing with an injury, he has been absolutely shredded in every single show that he has done. So the last time he did the Olympia, back in 2023, he was top 7. And that is how good Michael Krizo is when he is truly on. He is one of those pros who should invest as much time and effort into the posing and presentation as he does into training and dieting. Because Michael absolutely loves to train and stepping away from the weights, especially during that post-surgical phase. That was the hardest thing he had to do. So looking forward to this comeback, as I believe this is gonna be a very good one. Robin Strand checking in at 300 pounds, just before he starts his prep for this upcoming season. So looking back at his competitive season last year, there were some shows where he placed extremely well, like Van Pro, where he was top 3, fighting for the win. But that same physique, that also placed 16th at Chicago Pro. So the same trend was observed in Toronto Pro, where he placed 4th in a very competitive lineup. But in Dubai Pro, the judges placed him top 10, which kind of made no sense at all, because he looked very impressive in that show. Now Robin does have some shortcomings, but you cannot deny that his conditioning is always top notch. He gets insanely shredded, and this picture right next to John Jewett, that is a great demonstration on how peeled he was in Van Pro. Now Robin has never been this big in his career, so it will be interesting to see how his final package looks like this time around, and whether or not he can get to the Olympia stage. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.